because we're living in an imaginary world. This world is one's own imagination pushed out. The whole vast world is all imagination. That all these so-called objective realities are simply first imagined, and then they become, well, what you and I call reality. So here, all things are possible to him who believes. And with God, all things are possible. Therefore, the human imagination is equated with God. God and the human imagination are one. And now tonight she is faced with this, and I tried to persuade her today she didn't do a thing that was wrong. You are telling a principle. You're exercising a law. But not until man is incorporated into the body of love will he actually be able to exercise this power, so he can stop time and then start time. Because what powers he would do in the world. The two parents are gone. All right, so they're gone. They go all the time anyway. But here, a little man who wanted freedom from the disturbance of what he called a disturbing neighbor. The three little children playing all the time and disturbed him. So he didn't want that. And she didn't ask reasons beyond. She simply got his request. It was perfectly all right, perfectly normal. Because she's a delightful, lovely lady. A lady who would not for one moment hurt anyone. But her whole interest has been on, well, the world of Caesar. Getting security. Dollars and cents. The promise does not interest her. As far as I'm concerned, it has not interested her. I can't see any interest in the promise when I talk to her. But I can see a great interest in the law. And she has discovered the law, and she works it beautifully. I have another friend of mine back in the East, and the promise means nothing to her. But the law does, and she has made millions. But millions. When you own buildings on 57th Street between 5th and 6th, you are in the money. When you have businesses all over the world, you are in big business, and that's her business. And she started with not one penny in this world when she first heard me. But she believed what I told her. She believed that imagining creates reality. As I'm telling you now, it does. It does create reality. So here, treat it, may I tell you, and I plead with you, treat it lovingly. If someone asks of you this night to hear good news for them, certainly hear it. But try to find out something behind the reason why they're asking it of you, that you may do it in a loving way. That whole family could have been removed without the destruction of the parents. It could have been removed by 1,000 different ways, but it was removed in that manner. So, I tell you, your own wonderful human imagination is the only cause of the phenomena of life. There is no other power. That is the God spoken of in Scripture. That is the only God. Your own wonderful human imagination. Do you know what you want tonight? All right. Don't minimize it. It doesn't matter how big it is. State it. Or then listen in your own wonderful manner to your own voice, for that matter. Or tell a friend without his knowledge. You can hear a friend of yours tell you that he heard the good news about you. You know what you want. You actually write it out in your mind's eye, and then have a friend whose voice you know well, and listen to his voice, and he is confirming that you have it. These are the two who agree. You don't need another's voice, in the sense that let him come into your world, as she did, and have him first state what he wants. The professor didn't do that. He did it all within himself. He said, I have a lavish, steady, dependable income, consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. He didn't ask another to state that. He did it unto himself, and he became the two. So I don't need any other to do it. If I have a desire to help you or to help anyone, all I need to do is simply to imagine that I have heard them. And then I actually hear them tell me what I wish they would tell me. Then they are two. This one that I am hearing, and I am the one who is listening and hearing. And these two agree. And if two agree in testimony, then it is conclusive. And because imagining creates reality, it must externalize itself in my world. The whole vast world is only the imaginal act pushed out. And so we are told, with God, all things are possible. And all things are possible to him who believes. Well, am I not equating God with the believing one? And the believing one is that one's own wonderful human imagination. That's all that it is. Well, you put it to the test, and you can go to any extreme in this world. There is no limit set upon this principle, but none whatsoever. I can find one limit in Scripture, whether it be a violent thing or a lovely, pleasant thing. There is no limit. I kill, I make alive. I wound, I heal. I do all things. And none can deliver out of my hand, as I am told in the 32nd chapter of Deuteronomy. There is none that can deliver out of my hand. And I do everything. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. So you be the judge. I am telling you from my own personal experience that only when you are incorporated into the body of love will you exercise the power that can stop and release time. If you could stop time without love, what a horror you could create in this world. But you will not for one moment exercise that power until you're first incorporated into the body of love. So I say to this lady, she's not here tonight, a friend of hers is here tonight, who will see her. She did not do one thing that was wrong. She simply accepted a person's request. And she heard it distinctly. And in a matter of days, they're gone. Rubbed out, leaving behind 3 little children. Now I tell you, if we were not one, it would be entirely different. But it was only done to herself. Because all things by a law divine in one another's being mingled. We're all one. And the day will come that everyone will know it. That's what I've been trying night after night to convince everyone who is here. That you one day will discover you are actually, literally, God the Father.